Oh, you were sick last week? No, that's about it. So I have updates. Oh, I made a Steam Deck mini PC. That's been pretty fun.
That's good. That's good.
I don't, I don't know if Linux is gonna be my main gaming machine, but I'm gonna definitely try to make it more of a primary thing. It'd be kind of nice to get
I
away
mean,
from
let
it.
me put it this way. If you have decent specs on a Linux micro PC and you put Steam OS on it, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
You'll be all right.
that's the
Like Steam OS, especially when you factor in like Valve has been using Proton for a lot of their games for a long time. Like they created a front end so that they can basically emulate like 80% of the library. Well, more like 75% of the library of like the most popular games, which includes the most popular games, the games that people are playing a lot of. You know,
yeah.
Lord Gaben is good. Lord Gaben is life. All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what you been playing?
Well, I downloaded a hacked version of Majora's Mask
Oh,
for
really?
recompiling. Yeah, there's a recompile project going on with that game. Um, Somebody's actually made a system where it's made recompiling a lot more streamlined.
Yeah.
So you might see more 64 games get recompiled and natively run on PC. Um, and what's great when you're running at 144 FPS.
I mean, and the thing is, like Majora's Mask is way more optimized than Ocarina of Time. Like Ocarina of Time has a
Yeah,
lot of frame dips and just it's not a well designed game. Like we
yeah,
accepted it when it came out because we were like, oh my god, Legend of Zelda in 3D. But if you really go back to it, it's like this guy has some issues because they didn't know how to translate every 2D Legend of Zelda thing into 3D. They couldn't do it. So that's why Ocarina of Time isn't as optimized as Majora's Mask.
yeah. There's a German guy who does like who does like breakdowns of N64 hardware. He did like a uh, reporting or re-optimizing Super Mario 64 for the N64, and some of the stuff he does looks absolutely amazing. I'm like, this is actually running on an N64. This could run on an N64. That's great. Like what he's able to do with the lighting and the shadows, pretty crazy.
All right.
And it goes to show how much hardware, uh, how much technology is wasted over the years.
Well, that's good. That's good. So I have basically just been working. Tomorrow I will be working overtime all day long. I'll be working from 6 to 12, and then have like an hour off, and then 1 to 6. So it's going to be a 12-hour day, roughly speaking, not including my commute time, which is going to be like another 35, 45 minutes going in and coming out. So really, it's like going to be a 13-hour day. Oh, probably more than that, like 13 and a half. So we got to get it done today. Um, I but and yet I'm oddly optimistic with some of the news that's been coming out about gaming. So with that being said, let's uh, let's get to these news stories. So what we have here are the topics that I have. We have a lot of topics. 10 greatest SNES games that have aged perfectly ranked. 8 AA JRPGs that are actually better than some of the biggest AAA RPGs. Um, Dragon Age creator says EA execs thought Bioware fans would eat whatever the studio put out because they were given, since the nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. Nintendo finally shows gameplay footage of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and the frame rate is honestly a lot nicer than I expected. Um, we'll talk about Epic fighting Apple, or sorry, Epic fighting Steam and still losing. um, Everything announced at the State of Play. Um, we'll talk about 7 best turn-based RPGs for fans of Final Fantasy style RPGs. Best open world game series with only 2 titles. Apparently, Nintendo didn't learn anything about repairability with the Switch because the Switch 2 is just as poorly made as the original. Apparently, not even 1 week into the Switch 2's life cycle, and it still is having Joy-Con drift. Joy-Con drift. And we'll talk about Microsoft stuff. So I guess we should get started with the first topic, which is 10 greatest SNES games that aged the best. We'll go through this list. Agree, disagree, doesn't matter. Number 10, Super Mario World.
Yeah.
I agree. That game holds up. Like you can play that game now and it's like, "Oh, this is some really good fucking game design." Number 9, Earthbound.
I would say so. I mean, definitely is a.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, definitely is. You
Yeah.
got me.
It's because the thing is, Earthbound. Like, okay, if you know the quirks of Earthbound, Earthbound is amazing. But if you take people who all they played was Final Fantasy 6, 4, 5, maybe Chrono Trigger, and then say, "Hey, here's Earthbound," and they never played Earthbound, Earthbound is gonna seem fucking archaic compared to those other JRPGs. Like
That
people who
game's
played Breath
hard.
of Fire 1 and 2, Lufia 1 and 2, and then you give them Earthbound. It's like, what the fuck is this? I can only
Yeah, that
equip
game is.
3 items, maybe
That game,
4.
that game is kind of hard starting out. Yeah, that game does not just. It just doesn't give it to you.
No,
Like uh,
no. You
like a
gotta.
lot of the JRPGs, you can grind and grind JRPGs and kind of muscle your way through. Not with Earthbound.
I mean, you can. Like, once you're at the point where. What I appreciate about Earthbound is that once you get to a certain level for an area, the monsters will run away from you. They're like, I ain't fucking with you, which makes a lot of sense. Like, you play other JRPGs, it's like, I'm a high level character. I have basically kicked everyone's ass in this area, and yet enemies are still running up on me. Earthbound, like, you get to a point in Earthbound in every area where the enemies are like, except for the end level, the end area, like when you go back in time, Is it Back in Time? Or is it in the far future? I think it's Back in Time. You go back in time, and you gotta fucking those enemies just keep on coming at you. But like before then, there's a point where you reach a point where you're so OP for an area that enemies just can't stop you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. I didn't get too far into it, but
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that game being fairly challenging at the beginning. Like, man, this is not going to get. You're going to
Yeah,
really have to work your levels here, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. But I mean, like I said, Earthbound when you first Earthbound has the same issue that Breath of Fire has, where the beginning of the game until you get a full party is kind of hard. Once you get a full party, like once you get like once Ness gets Jenna, sorry Paula and Jeff, the game gets a lot easier. Like Pooh is almost extraneous because it's like I mean like Jenna can Paula can heal. Ness is your all arounder. Jeff doesn't have side powers, but he's got fucking inventions. Once he gets the rocket launcher, it's like, oh well, shit. I don't. Look, what's better than psychic abilities? A fucking rocket launcher. But yeah, it's one of those games. Number 8, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. I disagree. I personally think
What's that game?
Yoshi's Island is number
Yes.
8. Super Mario World 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never liked Yoshi's Island because I felt like Nintendo was lying to you. This is Super Mario World 2. No, it isn't.
I like the art style.
The
Other
art
than
style is vastly different. The gravity, the physics of the game is vastly different than the original Super Mario World. And let's keep it real. Baby Mario is just fucking annoying.
I could actually see that.
Baby Mario, like if it was just you're just playing as Yoshi with that fucking stupid ass flutter jump, it wouldn't be that bad. But if I have to play Super Mario World 2, and then as soon as I take damage, that little fucker, Baby Mario's off my back screaming and yelling. My God. I remember playing the demo of that game back in the day at Kmart because they had those little video game kiosks where you could play the demos. And I was like, I don't like this. Like, even as a kid. And this is someone who, like, I'm like Prime. The Super Nintendo was the first console my family bought for me. All right. That was the first system, and it came with Super Mario World. I love Super Mario World. That's like one of my favorite games of all time. And you have the nerve to call this shit the sequel to Super Mario World. It doesn't play like Super Mario World. The art style is different, has new enemies. You know, it's the first game that gave us Bowser Jr., who I hate. I hate that character so much. But that's a personal thing. I could see why the art style aged very well, but I personally don't like Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. I really don't like that game. Number 7, Mega Man X. I agree. Mega Man X is one of the best entries in that franchise, and it like like if you were a fan of the original Mega Man, you're like, how the fuck are they going to top the original Mega Man? Because at that point they were up to like Mega Man 8, and then they come out with Mega Man X, and it's like, fuck, they did it. Like like Mega Man X is amazing. And that game holds up. Like you can pop in Mega Man X, and even that first level where you're like on the highway fighting your way up to Vile, and you get your ass saved by Zero. It's like, wow, this game holds up. Too bad Capcom ran the franchise into the ground, and we haven't had a new Mega Man X in years. But oh well. Number 6, Super Castlevania 4. Um, I mean, I love Super Castlevania. It's one of my favorite games. I always thought it was amazing. Um, and yet it holds up. No doubt about it. It holds up. Super Castlevania 4. Agree, disagree, don't care.
Like Super Castlevania 4, I never played it.
Oh, it's like basically Super Castlevania 4. When Konami used to be one of the premier developers in the fourth gen, like they made two Castlevanias. One for the Super Nintendo, Super Castlevania 4. One for the Sega Genesis, Bloodlines. Both of them are good games. I personally prefer Super Castlevania 4 because of Mode 7. Uh, and and the music is just like the sound chip for the Super Nintendo, I think, is just better than the sound chip they had for the Sega Genesis. But the Yamaha they had for the Sega Genesis. But um, yeah, man, Super Castlevania 4 is amazing. It holds up. Um, Number 5, Donkey Kong Country. Oh, so they're including the whole trilogy. Okay, I would say Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 are amazing. 3, mid. Actually, a little bit above mid. If Donkey Kong Country 1 is like a solid 92, Donkey Kong Country 2 is like a 97, 96. 3 is like an 88, 86, you know?
Yeah.
It's like none of them are bad grades, but 3 is clearly a down drop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I do love it though. Number 4, Final Fantasy VI. Yes, you're goddamn right. Final Fantasy VI is amazing. Um, and it holds up. I think Final Fantasy VI aged better than Final Fantasy VII. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Agree. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
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 Number 2, Super Metroid. I mean, it's become the template for all the other Metroid games, so why the hell not? And number 1, take a guess. What's the number 1 16-bit SNES game?
Chrono Trigger?
You got it!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, you got it. Basically, Chrono Trigger is you had the best you had the best of the best of JRPG developers combine their abilities. You had people who worked on Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, uh, 6, DBZ. You had like people who were at their best coming together to create what is arguably one of the best JRPGs of all time. And I'm not joking. Chrono Trigger is one of the best JRPGs of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
But, yeah, man. And we'll never get a JRPG like there hasn't been a JRPG since Chrono Trigger where you've had the best and the best of their respective IPs coming together to create an entirely new IP. They tried to make a sequel to Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. Not as good as Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
So enough about that. Here are 8 AA JRPGs that are allegedly better than AAA JRPGs. Number 8, Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky. There was a dude who used to be on our channel or on my channel who we used to be on cast with who loved this franchise. I don't know if it's any good, but I know that a lot of people like it. I find the games to be too expensive.
Yeah,
Like
me
you,
too.
like if you go on Steam and try to get the Legend of Heroes series, like the special edition with all the DLC and shit, the game can run you like 200 something, 300 something dollars. You got to wait for the shit to go on sale. So I just kind of get it when I can when it's on sale. Number 7, Radiant Historia: Perfect Chronology. Yeah, that game is amazing. This game is the closest you're going to get to a Chrono Trigger sequel.
Yeah, that's a really good game.
Yeah. And it was on the DS and 3DS. Number 6, Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
That's a very good game too.
Yep, yep. Number 5, East 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Never played it. I heard it's good. Number 4, Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. Yet again, there's someone who we used to have be on podcasts with, who really loved that franchise. I don't know if it's any good, but I mean, shit. You know, if people are enjoying it, I'm happy they're enjoying it. Number 3, Super Robot Wars 30, which I have never seen this game's being played. Like, I've never seen gameplay of it. I just know it exists. Number 2, Unicorn Overlord. I have this game. I've never played it. I have the game. I haven't opened it. I haven't played it. I bought it for my Switch. I haven't played my Switch in over 2 years. I feel terrible. I heard it's good, though. And the last one is 100 Line, the 100 Line Last Defense Academy. It's one of those JRPGs where they get a whole bunch of kids and turn them into soldiers. Which a lot of JRPGs like to do.
Yeah.
So,
What game is this?
the 100 Line, Last Defense Academy.
Yeah, I've never played that.
Yeah, it's one of those games. It was created. It's a half visual novel, half tactical JRPG developed by 2Q Games or 2KO Games, which was co-founded by the head creators of Danganronpa and the Zero Escape series. It's set in an apocalyptic world where a group of students is forced to fight for their lives for 100 days against the mysterious invaders. Hence, it's one of those JRPGs where kids are being forced to fight to become soldiers, child soldiers. I mean, you know, I don't really like games like that because, like, their gameplay hook normally isn't enough to get me. But yeah, I heard this one's kind of good. But, you know, whatever. All right, next we have an article from one of the Dragon Age developers saying that EA execs thought BioWare fans would eat whatever slot they were given since, quote, the nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. Which the article writer says, which worked out very well. This article is from May 27th, but I think it's relevant. Let me read it. Peter Mandelson, the oleaginous right hand of Tony Blair's Labour Party in the late 90s, once remarked to a colleague that the party had no need to focus on its traditional voter base and could safely dedicate itself to chasing more affluent middle-class conservative voters. After all, said Mandelson, its base had nowhere else to go. Don't worry, I promise we'll get to Dragon Age. 14 years of Conservative Party rule later, and you might think that kind of reasoning has been proven bankrupt, but only if you underestimate the powerful minds of the world's corporate executive class. It's not quite as consequential as the direction of British politics, but it turns out that EA had its own version of that thought process when it came to running BioWare in the 2010s. A notion that RPG fans will gobble up whatever you chuck their way, so as long as you could plausibly call it an RPG. Instead, they thought, BioWare should focus on making games that appeal to people who don't usually play RPGs. So says David Gator, creator of the Dragon Age setting and BioWare veteran, in a recent chat with Games Radar. Per Gator, EA bosses used to refer to RPG stalwarts as living in the cave. That'd be the Nerve Cave, you see, where nerds lived. You made an RPG and the nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. With EA bosses convinced that the Nerd Cave would spill out its denizens to any game with BioWare on the box, their philosophy became that, quote, you didn't need to have to try and appeal to them. You had to worry about the people who weren't in the cave, which was the audience we actually wanted, which is much larger, end quote. Which is how you ended up with the decidedly more actiony and slick cinematic focus of games like Mass Effect 2 and 3 and Andromeda, as well as Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, and hey, probably Veilguard too. Gone were the crunchy stats and behind-the-scene dice rolls from BioWare of yore. This was the era of spectacle. And to be fair to the execs for just a second, some of those games were bangers. BioWare did thread the needle on at least a few of them. But Gator wasn't thrilled as things were increasingly pushed in that direction and away from BioWare's roots. I was always trying to push it I was always trying to push it to our traditional mechanics, and that wasn't very welcome in the EA sphere, he said. Gator left BioWare in 2016, first heading to Beamdog of Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition fame, and then to his own studio at Summerfall, currently working on an unholy roguelite deck builder. That meant he dodged the release of what might be the ultimate expression of EA's action-obsessed executive philosophy, Anthem, which was not a good game. Not even the Nerd Cave turned out for that one. Well, we finally know what we suspected was true. So what do you got to say about that?
Was anybody surprised?
Oh, I'm not surprised. It just, okay, it's like this, right? As a black person, okay, like, as a black person who lives in a multicultural world, um, it's like having someone tell you, hey, that person over there, they're racist, right? And you might see they might be able to keep it covert, right? But eventually something happens where it's like the rag is taken off the bush, the blanket, the mask slips, and you're like, oh shit, they really are really fucking racist. Like you finally have confirmation, first-hand confirmation or second-hand confirmation. It's like, oh shit, yeah, that motherfucker is racist. I always suspected this is what EA was doing because look how their games changed, right? Like Dragon Age, the original Dragon Age is basically a D&D game in everything but name only. It's a D&D JRPG with die rolls and under the hood, and I like that shit. And then they made Dragon Age 2 in less than a year. Well, a year and 18 months. Okay, a year and a half. And that game has jumping and it's like the RPG mechanics are just trash. And then a year after that, they come out with Mass Effect 3, which was also trash. Trash. Like Mass Effect 2 I will agree, Mass Effect 2 thread the needle between being a traditional Western style RPG and being like a cinematic game. But Mass Effect 3 is a cover based shooter with the lightest RPG mechanics you can think of. And don't get me started with Dragon Quest Inquisition, which is trash. Dragon Age Inquisition, and then Dragon Age Veilguard, both of which are terrible, by the way. And of course, how can we forget Anthem? Anthem, which landed with all of the weight of a turd on the floor. Yeah, that's what happens when you take a studio that's known for one thing and make them do some shit that they're not really good at. Oh, we don't want to make RPGs anymore. We want to make an action game. What? uh, that's weird. Next, let's talk about. Do you want to cover the Pokemon shit, or you want to skip that?
I'm Pokemon, so I mean, you want to cover it? Like what happened?
Basically, the game runs better on the new hardware than it did on the old hardware, which just proves to me that the reason that game ran like shit on the Switch was because it was unoptimized, and also the Switch was too underpowered to run that game. It was a combination of the hardware was weak as fuck, and the game was unoptimized.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to really read. I don't really need to read an article about how unoptimized that that shit was, because we all know it was unoptimized. I mean, the only good thing about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is that we got those awesome memes. Those memes where people were falling through the floor and shit. All right, so next, this is a Games Radar article. Desperate to fight Steam, Epic burns money like firewood, but admits the Epic Game Store kind of sucks and that there's still a ton of work to be done with long overdue features. The Epic Game Store now is just pushing preloading and gifting. So, Epic. So here's the article. It's written by Austin Woods. This came out June 3rd. Not content with just fighting Apple in courts, Epic continues to battle Valve in the PC gaming storefront arena, which you may have noticed is still dominated by Steam. Epic boss Tim Sweeney admitted last month that, quote, the Epic Game Store launcher is clunky, end quote. This is my editorial comment. It's beyond clunky. It's shit. in the
Yeah, it's
company's in the company's Unreal Fest demonstration today, Epic Game Store General Manager Steve Allison agreed that even after years of building the store on PC, we know there's still a work to be done to deliver the world-class experience. Long overdue features are on the way, Allison said. Years after launch, the Epic Game Store is finally getting game preloading in September. Epic is also looking to add gifting in time for the holidays. You know, shit you can do, you've been able to do on Steam for like 5 years now, or more. New Epic Game Store social features coming this year also promise game independent voice chat, text chat, and parties, along with robust game invites for third party games. Yes, the store has not had all these features for several years. We're also putting great focus on ongoing launcher improvements that will make the store feel great to use, Allison added. My hottest tip, remember my frickin' login. When and how Epic may finally deliver these improvements or better address the gulf in game discoverability, which is one of Steam's biggest advantages, remains to be seen. I'll tell you one thing Epic can do better than Valve: light money on fire. I say that cynically, but Epic's money is going out of fashion strategy is great for game developers, as well as PC gamers who enjoy collecting free games like Pokemon. And it's demonstrably offering a better cut than Steam's revenue share model. To bring you up to speed on all the rules, recently announced changes and offers. Devs pay 0% in store fees on the first million in revenue per year per game as of this month. Epic First Run also gives devs 100% of their first 6 months of revenue if they agree to Epic exclusivity for that period. After these windows close, devs return to Epic's standard 88-12 revenue split. Steam is still 70-30 at base with better splits for higher earning games. Through the end of 2025, devs also keep the first 6 months of revenue for the back catalog games brought to the Epic Game Store. Shipping an Unreal Engine game day and date on the Epic Game Store cuts the Unreal royalty from 5% to 3.5%. Devs working in Unreal Engine pay 0% royalties on all Epic Game Store sales where we process payment. Never missing a dig at Apple, Epic stresses that devs can use any in-app purchase payment solution you want. Epic owns Unreal as a reminder, which is part of the reason it has so much money to burn. Of course, the main reason is Fortnite. Allison says Epic has paid out over $2.1 billion to developer and publisher partners to date. In its 2024 reflection, Epic said it gave out nearly 595 million free games last year.
Yeah.
So, the only thing I have to say is Epic's intent to basically spend all their money trying to overtake Valve. Like here's the thing. They did a study, a work study, like in 2018, 2017, maybe 2020, where like Valve only has like I want to say 200 something employees. No, I think it's more than that, like 400, like it's between 300 and 400 something employees. But the productivity, the amount of revenue generated by each employee is like more than some AAA big humongous companies. They're actually more profitable in terms of profit ratio per employee than these big quadruple A companies. Valve.
Yeah.
So, maybe, make a good place where people want to work. Epic. Hey, you want people to come to the Epic store? Release a new Unreal tournament. How about that?
Well, I mean, the problem with oh yeah, I was also going to say, people have, not only are they complaining about that, their Unreal Engine fog isn't necessarily lighting on fire, super unoptimized. It doesn't, your skills for Unreal Engine 4 don't carry over as well. It seems a lot
Yeah, because they added a lot of new
of
shit. Plus, Unreal Engine 5 apparently was developed to focus on ray tracing and shit like that versus actual gameplay optimization. So basically, Unreal 5 was Epic's answer to Nvidia pushing RTX and graphical fidelity versus games running smoother. You notice a lot of Unreal games are just not running as well. They're not optimized for different types of hardware. Oh well. So what do you think about it, sir?
um, I just I don't know. Um, I think they just need to eat crow and play ball like everybody else. They
Yeah,
need
yeah. Stop starting shit with people who are more successful than you. They're like, oh, Steam, you. It's like, yeah, but here's the thing, right? Like, yeah, Steam is taking a 30% cut, but look, developers will tell you, yes, I did exclusivity at Epic, and then I took my game over to Steam, and I made way more money than I ever made on the Epic Game Store because Steam has the bigger market share. Like Epic is the Epic Game Store is like it's like you're selling your product in a boutique that only rich people shop at. But the thing is, rich people only buy that shit once every 5, 6, 7 years. Steam is like your fucking Costco or your fucking Sam's Club or your fucking it's your mainstream store where people go all the fucking time to buy that product. People turn on Steam just to see what's there. I don't turn on Epic just to see what's on the Epic store. You know what I mean?
to
Uh, anyway, anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic?
um, no.
All right. So Sony had a state of play this month, and we're going to talk about some of their announcements because gaming. So as we know, IO Interactive is making a new 007 game. To my disappointment, they're playing a young version of James Bond. Hopefully, if this game comes on PC, we can just swap out this guy for Sean Connery. Because if I'm gonna play a 007 game, I want my personal favorite 007 in there, who is Sean Connery. Or add DLC where you can play as Sean Connery. Ah, fuck you, Goldfinger. Oh. So basically, yeah, it's coming out next year if it isn't delayed, which it might be. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is a 4v4 fighting game from Arc System Works. So it'll at least be good. It's got like Captain America in there and Marvel characters and shit. Um, I mean, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. Uh, I'm looking at the trailer right now. They've got Captain America. They got Iron Man. I mean, look, man. It's functionally Guilty Gear. It's Guilty Gear. This is basically what we wanted. This is a Marvel versus Capcom, except it's just all Marvel characters. They got Spider Man and Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel. They got fucking Captain America. They got fucking who the fuck is this? Star Lord. I don't like Star Lord, or at least I don't like the
Oh,
cinematic version
Marvel.
of Star Lord. What?
Marvel fighting,
It's
Marvel
called
fighting
Marvel
game.
Tokon Fighting Souls.
Oh yeah, that game looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this shit looks like what we wanted from fucking Marvel vs. Capcom, but Capcom's kept on putting the shit in 2.5D, 3D models. I'm like, I want cell shaded, motherfucker. This shit looks nice though.
Looks, yeah, it looks anime as hell, and that doesn't bother me one bit.
I mean, you say anime, I mean, it is stylized anime like, but it looks more like what we wanted from, like, this looks like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But if they kept this art style from 2 and 1. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll definitely get this on PC. It's coming to PS5 and PC apparently. I guess no love for Microsoft. Microsoft.
Yeah.
Apparently they're making Silent Hill F. It's set in 1960s Japan, so I mean, Japan is known for having fucked up horror films, so it could be probably pretty cool. I don't know. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilise Chronicles. Oh my god! They're re-releasing Final Fantasy Tactics finally again for the umpteenth time. Cause it came to the PSN back in the day. It came to the PSP, and then the Vita, and the PS2. I mean the PS3 through the PSN, and they're just bringing it back again. But now there's an optimized, updated UI and all that shit. So if you're really into Final Fantasy Tactics, which I'm not, by the way, I don't like Final Fantasy. I don't like the PlayStation's original version of Final Fantasy Tactics. I do like Advance 1 and 2, though. They're fun. Um, anyway, uh, they're making another Neo game. Yeah,
Neo. Oh
Neo
yeah,
3.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah, Neo 3. Now, I tried to get into Neo. I played Neo 1. I was like, it's fine. I played Neo 2. I'm like, Like, I just can't get into that Souls like I just want to play a hack and slasher. I don't want to have the proper upper lower stance in order to fight enemies. I'm like, this is too much. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just it's a Koei Tecmo game. It might be good. I don't know. It's another Neo game. It's the art style is interesting. I don't like Souls like games, but I know a lot of people do, so good for you. Eh. Obviously, they're releasing Metal
You
Gear
know,
Solid Snake Eater. So, for those of you who don't know, Snake Eater is a remake of the original Metal Gear Solid, where you get to play as the original Solid Snake. So, and apparently there's there's in-game purchases, so they're gonna nickel and dime you with shit. How lovely! Aren't you happy about Konami and their microtransactions? So I guess that's nice. Um, Ghosts of Yote, which is the sequel of to Ghosts of Susuna, Tsushima. So I mean, I guess you're fighting more samurai monsters. I mean, if you gotta fight samurai monsters, that's the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, there's a female protagonist now, so I guess that's cool. Um, Other news: Astrobot to get 5 new Vicious Void Galaxy levels and special bots in July. Um, Luminous Arise announced for PS5 and PSVR 2. Let's see, Luminous. Huh. Luminous. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's on that was on PSP a while ago. Or when
Wasn't that game also on PC? Where the
it
block,
might
I
have,
mean, was that on the DS where the blocks dropped and you could like, you had to like create, it was like Tetris combined with something else, but it moved with the music and all that
I
shit?
think there, I think there might have been a version. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think
Okay, it looks familiar. Yeah, yeah. Let me look that up real quick because that name sounds so familiar. Lumines.
did Sakurai make that game? Because didn't he leave Nintendo for a while? Go off to
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah, yeah. He's the one who made. Yeah, he's the one who made Lumines. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the one who made Lumines, and he was like, oh yeah, yeah, Lumines Puzzle Fusion. Yeah, he got mad at Nintendo, and uh, and he left.
Yeah, it seems to happen.
Yeah, and then he
How
did.
did
Yeah,
Nintendo? Was
yeah. It was
that your
originally on the
beta?
PSP. It was on mobile phone, PlayStation 2, and Windows. And then there was this 360 version. Lumines 2 was the PSP. Lumines Supernova was the PlayStation 3. Then there was the iOS version, Vita version, iOS version. Okay, so there was never one on the DS. It was on PC. I was like, I've played this game before, but it must have been on PC or the PlayStation
Yeah, this
because
is
I
I'm
never owned
like,
a Vita. I never owned a Vita, so I can't say that I played it on the Vita.
yeah. Why did he get mad at? Why did he leave Nintendo? Or why did he get mad at Nintendo? I mean,
I mean, it was like one of those things where it's like he felt like they were stifling his creativity. Because here's the thing, Hironobu Sakaguchi, not Hironobu, like like there's three types of developers in Japan. There are people who just come in, do their job, go home. Then you got these fucking diva developers like Tobunobu Itagaki and Kojima, right? And you know who's big friends with Kojima, right?
who's that?
The guy who, Smash Brothers guy.
Oh, Sakurai.
Sakurai, yeah, Sakurai is a little like I don't think he fell into as much diva is because if you're at Nintendo, they're not gonna let you become a diva. Like we don't need your
Yeah.
ass. Get the fuck out of our
Yeah.
face. But
Yeah.
like I guess they slapped the diva out of him. But but could you imagine? Could you imagine someone at Nintendo, like one of the higher, Miyamoto? You know what? I want blah 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 blah. Man, you better sit your ass down. You sit your ass down. You shut the fuck up and sit your ass down. Um. Anyway, we've got next game Pragmata. Um. I don't know what that game is, but they're making a Thief VR game, so uh, so what?
So I guess
I mean, I don't. I mean, look, man, I'm tired of people trying to push VR. I'm so fucking tired of VR. It's like more shit to put on my face. Next, Grasshopper Manufacturers, Romeo is Dead is bringing wild action to the PS5 in 2026, and the art style of this trailer is very cel shaded and it looks pretty cool. I'm
yeah,
down
it's
for it. This is
made by
Suda 51, so
Sakurai.
it's Suda
Yeah, there's
51.
no more heroes.
Yeah, which I have all those games on PC, so yeah, it's Suda
Played all of
51. It's Suda 51 doing another Suda 51 game, so I'm happy for him. I like Suda 51. All right.
and I'm glad he's still making games.
Yeah, yeah. He
So,
found a way. He found a way. Mortal Kombat
yeah,
Legacy Collection, which is coming to everything. I don't know why they're saying it's just PS5 and PS4. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is coming to everything. Why the fuck would you say PS5 and PS4? You know it's coming to everything. And here's what's
yeah,
announced for it. You get Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 4. Mortal Kombat Advance, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition. So basically, you're getting a lot of Mortal Kombat shit. And this is being done by Digital Eclipse. So if you're really into Mortal Kombat, which I'm not, this is for you. Mortal Kombat! Sorry. Although that is one of the most badass theme songs ever. PlayStation also announces Project Defiant. It's a wireless fight stick. Eh. I mean, it's wireless, which means there's going to be latency. So why the fuck would you create?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Why would you want a wireless fight stick? Unless
You
you have
want
one of
wired
those.
because you have less latency if the
Yeah.
components are halfway decent.
Unless it's not using Bluetooth. Unless it's using one of those like.
But even with Bluetooth, you have latency.
No, I'm talking. There's a USB connector that creates a better connection.
Where where it goes into wireless mode. I mean, yeah, you can wire a Bluetooth controller, but I'm just saying, like, if it's solely wireless, I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, I mean,
I like
especially on
this.
a fight pad, you know.
Yeah, I like the minimal look to it, but
I mean, it
also,
looks fine, but I'm just like, you know, because I mean, people who buy fight pads are people who are really into what's the word I'm looking for? Fighting games, and those motherfuckers are like they're like Jedi with the dark side of the Force when it comes to latency with a fight pad. They can tell because they like that smooth response, you know. And I don't even know if that joypad's clicky either, because we all know micro switches are the way to go with a fight pad, with the joystick on a fight pad. But that's just me. But yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm glad they're giving people options. That's all I'm gonna say. I bet it's gonna be expensive as hell, though. Oh no, it's also wired. Okay, good, good. I thought it was
yeah.
solely
I try to fight stick. To a certain degree, they do feel a lot more accurate. It's just not for me.
Yeah,
It's different being bad.
yeah. Especially when nowadays, like it used to be back in the day, if they made a game on arcade, they had to pare it down to fit on a console, so it was made for the controller. These days, these consoles are far more powerful than most of those video game arcade machines out there. So they're just porting. It's a direct port. So these games are designed to be with a fight stick, really, especially the 2D fighters or 3D. Although there's not a lot of 3D fighters these days. You know that 3D arcade style fighters kind of disappeared. We're getting a new Ninja Gaiden. It's called Ragebound, and it looks fucking amazing. It's cell shaded. Like this looks like it would have been home on a like this is what you imagine Ninja Gaiden on the what we wanted years ago when they weren't trying to make everything fucking 3D would look like. And it looks pretty goddamn good. You know, Joe Musashi, or sorry, this is Kenji Musashi, not Joe Musashi. I guess we got to play. I guess this is the son of Joe Musashi. Yeah, this game looks like what we wanted the game to look like, what we thought the game looked like on the SNES. You know, back in the day. It's like this is what we want. This is what in our heads the game looked like. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this shit looks amazing, and I'll get it on PC, not on the PlayStation. Even though I have a PS5, I'm just like I don't really want to. You know,
Exactly.
I don't want to play it
Yeah.
because then I can download mods and I can have a trainer and enjoy it that way. So, and it's coming to everything. They're like only on the PlayStation. It's coming to PS5, PS4, Switch, Steam, and the Xbox. So yeah, a new Bloodstain's coming out. It's 2.5D. We've got new characters. So yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Igarashi. So that's cool. We're getting more Castlevania in. We're getting more Castlevania, y'all. It's just they can't use that name. They legally can't use that name, but it's functionally Castlevania. Be happy.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty. I think it looks pretty good. I think there's a few people that I was watching that trailer with them just for sort of this. Wasn't sure about the art style, but I thought it looked okay for what it was, for
I
what
mean,
it is.
I'm not crazy about the 2.5D, but I mean, as long as they have the other studio making AAA, making like a single A or even B grade, NT creates making like a 2D style traditional, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But you know, but I'll get it. It's on PC, so I'll get it. It'll come to PC. I'll play it. You know. Next we have Tides of Tomorrow. It's a multiplayer game where choices, what you do, impacts other people's shit. I don't know how much of that is. So it's set in a post-apocalyptic ocean world where you get to follow another player who's played before you, and choices also matter. So if another player stole something valuable for an NPC, that character might now hate all Tidewalkers, forcing you to sneak around instead of being welcomed. So basically, if other people play like dicks, the whole game's going to be unplayable. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work because we all know there's a lot of people who make an entire life about playing as shitty characters. All they do is play as shitty characters, you know? And if I'm playing a multiplayer game where like 30% of the people are playing shittily and the other 70% are playing normally, this is going to make this game deeply unfun unless they have some type of mechanic where you can reset the world state, like, you know, once every like 2-3 months or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Sword of the Sea. It's coming in August 2025.
That's cool.
It's an atmospheric surfing game. Yeah. Yeah, and it's rated E for everyone. I mean, it's a surfing game. I mean, it's except your surfboard is a hoverboard. It's a sword. This
That's
looks like it could be kind of fun.
yeah.
Like one of those chill. It's one of them chill games. You just kind of play it and chill. Next, we have Sea of Remnants.
Sea of Remnants.
Sea of
What's that
Remnants.
about?
It can be described as an ocean adventure RPG, simulation, survival building, turn-based strategy game. This is an infinite voyage looping between death and rebirth, a journey where we rove forward tirelessly, only to return to where it all began.
Huh.
So, in Sea of Remnants, players will take on the role of an amnesiac sailor who goes on a voyage with a mysterious girl to reach the long-rumored, deeply cursed Sea of Remnants, a place said to hold endless riches and renown. So, okay, I see what this is. This game is kind of like a more fantastical Pirates of the Caribbean. Sid Meier's Pirates of the Caribbean. Like there's like magic and like voodoo and monsters and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got Survival Climber Cairn. I don't know. It's a you're climbing a mountain and some shit goes wrong. You have to survive. I don't. It doesn't look very fun. You know, life is hard enough. Why would I want to play a game about someone trying to survive on climbing a goddamn mountain? Like I'm supposed to be like, oh man, that's terrible. I'm like, why the fuck are you on the mountain in the first goddamn place? You know, you always hear about, oh, so and so died climbing Mount Everest. They shouldn't have had their ass there in the first place. They still be alive if they stay their ass where human beings have evolved to exist. Ground level. Next we have Digimon Time Stranger, Digimon Story Time Stranger. It's an adventure RPG. I mean, let's keep it real. We always knew that Digimon had the better anime
Oh
than
yeah,
Pokemon.
definitely. Sure.
Cooler
Yeah.
theme song. The Digimon rap is amazing. Like it's better than I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. It's like cool, whatever. Which is lame compared to the Digimon digital monsters who they are digital champions. It's like wow, this is great. Digivolve into champions. Digivolve. Digivolve in order to save the digital world. Yeah, Digimon always seemed cooler than Pokemon. Even though Pokemon was more successful than Digimon, like Digimon is way cooler and way more interesting than Pokemon. And this looks like it's gonna be fun, man. I mean, if you grew up playing Digimon, I mean, grew up watching the Digimon show, they have all the digital monsters you're used to, like from the original one. You know, you too can have, oh, it's War Greymon. He Digivolved the champion form. He's gonna use Nova Blast. It's Leomon. it's Greymon. It's Where Greymon. Sorry, it's uh shit. I forgot the name of the wolf type Digimon. I forgot. It's Agumon. We're Agumon. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like what they're doing with this. I might get this game on PC because it's coming out October 3rd. So yeah, you too can have live your fantasy of being a Digimon champion. Namco Bandai is releasing everybody's golf hot shots September 5th. Apparently they've got Pac-Man in this shit. I don't know why. Like I don't think Pac-Man in golf, but apparently they're putting Pac-Man in this shit.
Yeah.
And this is more like a this is I guess they're going after Nintendo Golf with this cuz Nintendo Golf has been shit, you know. They made it too actiony. I like the art. Next, they're making Baby Steps from the same people who made Getting Over It. So, it's a game about a guy who sits in his parents' basement and hasn't had a job in ever, wearing pajamas and shit. And now it's got him like walking around one step at a time because he hasn't walked for so goddamn long. But it's a grown ass man wearing a fucking set of pajamas. I'm like I see shit like this. It makes me mad. I'm like his parents should have kicked him out the house years ago, and or either just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
I
like
I I figured it was made by the same people and made Getting Over It.
yeah. I mean, you can tell about like how quirky it is and all that shit. Which the guy who made Getting Over It, like every game this guy makes seems like it is a seems like it is like he's just working up to the next version of his first game, which is QOP. That game where you use QUOP in order to move each part of your body in order to run. And the better you coordinated those key presses, the better you could run. And this just seems stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, fuck this. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I mean, the idea seemed kind of funny, but I don't know. Not my kind of game. Not the sort. Not the kind of thing I would want to play.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't really. I'm just like, I don't care. I just don't give a fuck. You know, it's like a lot of these games are like, I don't really give a fuck about this shit. So let's talk about. So since we talked about Sony, I guess we got to talk about Microsoft. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Microsoft had the more interesting shit to talk about, in my opinion. So here we go. So there's new hardware. The Microsoft is throwing their hat in the Switch ring. Uh, with the ROG Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally 2. Um, I mean, I'm not getting it because I don't give a fuck. Because I mean, I like if I have a gaming PC and a Steam Deck, what the fuck do I need with a ROG Ally? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But apparently, Microsoft's like, yeah, man, we wanna make our Switch too. I guess they saw all that money Nintendo was printing with the Switch, and they were like, we want some money too. Damn it, we aren't making any on our Xbox, so come on, man, help us out. Call of Duty's Black Ops 7. I mean, it's Call of Duty. I mean, I just don't care about Call of Duty. I don't care about Call of Duty. The only way I'll care about Call of Duty is if they make a parody, R-rated parody called Call of Booty. The search for booty. Next from In Exile, which is In Exile is a studio that came out of the roots of Interplay, so they know how to make RPGs, Western style RPGs. It's Clockwork Revolution. Um, and this is a game that basically takes place in a steampunk arcanic world where basically the people in control have figured out how to basically reverse time. So they keep their boot heel on the neck of the common people, and anything they don't like, they just go back in time and change shit around. But your character figures out a way to circumvent the system and change things yourself. The trailer for this looks pretty amazing. I will share this.
What game is this?
Clockwork Revolution. It looks pretty cool. I saw the trailer for this and I was like, this looks pretty fucking amazing. um, look, I don't know if the game's any good, but god damn it, they know how to cut a good fucking trailer. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, Gears of War Reloaded. It's coming to everything. It's more Gears of War. It's coming to Xbox on PC, Xbox Cloud, Steam, and the PS5. It has Gears of War on it. So there you go. If you like Gears of War, I never like Gears of War, but I know there are people who do. So for those of you who do like Gears of War, Microsoft is re-releasing it, hoping that you fuckers will buy the shit. Sorry, suckers. Next, Grounded 2 from Obsidian. So, you know. So there you go, folks. Grounded, to me, when I first saw it, the first game, felt like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game. Because anyone who ever watched that movie, there's a part where they like tame an ant and they ride it around in the backyard in order to get back into the house. The ant winds up getting killed by a scorpion, and it's emotional manipulation to make you feel sad for the ant. And you do. You're like, I feel kind of sad about this ant that dies. Um,
Yeah.
because emotional manipulation for children. Anyway, it's Grounded 2. It's the sequel. It's more. If you liked the first Grounded, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the video game, here's more of it. Apparently, the lessons they learned from the first game they're applying to this one. So it does look. I always trust Obsidian on sequels because their sequels are always better than their first game. Keeper, a beautiful otherworld adventure from Lee Petty and Double Fine Productions. This is a game where a giant light tower falls over, then gets back up, grows feet, gets back up, and walks around trying to find a better place for itself. Yeah. So, look forward to more weird fucking Double Fine shit. But if you like weird fucking Double Fine shit, then here you go. For those of you who like ball-crushingly difficult action games, Ninja Gaiden 4! Ninja Gaiden 4! Ninja Gaiden 4. You're not playing as Joe Musashi. Not Joe Musashi. Let me see. Who was the protagonist in Ninja Gaiden?
Joe Musashi. Ryu.
Yeah, Ryu. Ryu. It was, Ryu Hayabusa, sorry. Joe Musashi is from Shinobi. I'm like, oh man, I got them mixed up. Look, they're both ninja games. Come on, man.
They just took.
What? What did you just say?
I was just gonna say they took part of his name from Miyamoto Musashi. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, because to me, like Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi always kind of felt like they're both ninja games, and I never was that into either of them, so they kind of felt the
yeah,
same to me. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah,
I'm
they're
running around
both
as a
super.
ninja
They're
killing
both
shit.
yeah, they're both super hard. Ball bustingly hard too.
Yeah, so that means I'm gonna have to play this on PC so I can use a trainer and just cheat. So there you go. Of course, The Outer Worlds 2 gets a new trailer with a deep dive. I saw the new trailer. It is fucking amazing. Every time I see more of this game, I get more excited about it. I watched the trailer where they talked about it, and they're like, "Yeah, well, we borrowed from Fallout New Vegas." I'm like, "Y'all created Fallout New Vegas. You're not borrowing. You can't steal from yourself." Shit. So the more I see about Outer Worlds 2, the happier I am. And you know what? I don't mind spending $80 for this game or more. Okay? Some people are getting mad because it's also coming to PlayStation 5. Like, I don't want to pay $80 for this game. Well, fuck you then. I'll do it. You know, PlayStation 5 people. These are people, they're complaining about the price of this game. These are the same people who are willing to spend $650 for an upgraded PS5 that doesn't come with an optical drive. That they have to buy a separate optical drive. But an $80 game is too much. Where the fuck does that logic come in?
Yeah.
Next, we're getting Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I mean, it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater, man. It's one of the best games of all time. I mean, what else can I say?
Yeah, I can't wait for that either.
Yeah, if you like Tony Hawk, you getting the good one. Next we have Animo. So this is what we wanted from Pokemon, but Game Freak sucks, so we won't get it. Uh, so Animo, yeah. Aphelion is a sci-fi adventure grounded in real life science. Yeah. So this woman is in some bad situations. Next, we have At Fate's End is a captivating new game from the Spiritfarer team. Spiritfarer was that game where you had to help people die, like take spirits to the afterlife and all that shit. So this looks kind of interesting. I mean, the art style is amazing. I don't know if the game's going to be good. Speaking of
Yeah.
Game Freak, they're making Beast of Reincarnation, an action RPG. Set in a post apocalyptic Japan, the world has been consumed by corruption and overtaken by formidable beasts. Play as Emma, a cursed outcast, and her loyal dog Ku as they journey through a dangerous, ever shifting world that demands precision and mastery of technical combat. Uncover what it means to be a human at the edge of extinction in Beast and Reincarnation. I'm guessing that they got tired of making Pokemon games. Like, I need a break, goddammit. I understand. I'm tired of them making Pokemon games too. And it's coming to Xbox, PC, and Xbox consoles, Xbox PC, and Xbox Cloud. So I guess Microsoft paid for this shit to get made. Because it's not coming to Steam.
Yeah.
Next we have Xbox. Next we have The Blood of the Dawnwalker coming from some of the people who made The Witcher. You play as a vampire. But here's the thing, it's an open world RPG where the interesting thing about the game is that it has emergent gameplay. So depending on what choices you make, there's aspects of the game you'll never see. Depending on who you choose to, what quests you tend to perceive, how you play the game. For example, if you don't feed long enough, your character will go fucking insane and just attack random NPCs and kill them in order to get, blood. So it looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. Look, listen, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see. It's also coming to PC. I don't know why they're fucking like, oh, it's Xbox on everything. It's coming to Steam. Whatever.
Xbox is dead.
I mean, kinda, but not really, because most people are gaming on a Windows PC, and Windows is Microsoft, so not really, but kinda. But as Microsoft as a console is dead. Microsoft as a gaming platform, very much alive. Very much alive. Next we have Chronos: The New Dawn. It's a survival horror from Bloober Team. I'm getting some strong Bioshock vibes in this game. Bioshock Dead Space shit going on here. So, I don't know. It could be good. I don't know. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming to Xbox. I don't personally care because I don't give a fuck about the Final Fantasy remake, but it's coming. Final Fantasy 16 is coming to the Xbox as well. Good for you. And of course, hey man, something that they started their the Xbox showcase with. High on Life 2. High on Life 2 is coming out. For those of you who don't know, High on Life was made by Squanch Games. And High on Life was basically kind of like it was a Metroid Prime Lite. Like, it was Metroid Prime with, it was Metroid Prime Lite, Like, imagine you take the original Metroid Prime, you cut it down by half, and you've got High on Life. Hopefully this one will be bigger and have more shit in it. More planets to visit. Shit like that. So basically, here's the blurb. You'll be wreaking havoc at the galaxy's biggest convention, an alien zoo for humans, and a luxury futuristic cruise liner on your cosmic quest to take down an alien pharmaceutical company that has figured out how to turn humans into drugs. So, yeah, man. So PlayStation is doing there's a 4v4 fighting game coming out with Marvel characters. Not to be outdone, guess what Microsoft's answer to that was?
So,
Invincible versus.
okay.
Yeah.
It's making an invincible fighting game.
It is an invincible fighting game. So Sony is doing Marvel, and they're doing Invincible. And this shit is really hardcore because Invincible's a brutal fucking comic. Like
Yeah,
it is like, god damn, this is fucked up.
yeah. Well, that's the same guy that made uh well, The Walking Dead. So
Yeah, Mark Wade, I think that's his name. Mudang Two Hearts is a cinematic tactical adventure. I don't know what this is. It's set in the Karina, whatever. There you go. The Midnight Channel returns. Persona 4 revival! Yay! Persona 4. They're re-releasing it again. So, you know, if you played Persona 4 once, it's coming out again. Personally, I think Persona 4 is the stronger Persona game in my humble opinion.
yeah.
Planet of Lana 2, Children of the Leaf, Resonance: A Plague Tale, um, Solo Leveling: Arise Overdrive transforms the hit webtoon into an action RPG. Uh, I mean, Solo Leveling is really fucking hardcore. I might get this game on PC because Solo Leveling is, that's a hardcore game. Super Meat Boy 3D. So you two can play a toughest balls um, game. This game looks like Super Mario 3D World, except it's Meat Boy. So, you know, he touches one thing, he dies. Because he's made out of meat. Get it? He's made out of meat, and his girlfriend's made out of bandages. Jesus. I will not be getting this game. I have no want nor desire to play the toughest balls Meat Boy games, even 3D. But if you're into punishing platformers, there you go.
Yeah.
So we've got There Are No Ghosts at the Grand, Become Decorator by Day and Ghost Hunter by Night, and a cozy, spooky musical mystery. So inherit a crumbling English hotel and restore it by day while battling ghosts at night, and there are no ghosts at the Grand. And they got some old black guy up here looking like Morgan Freeman dancing. So what the fuck?
Across the land.
Yeah, no, 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 no. Next, because we can't just talk about games anymore, they're also announcing DLCs for games. Age of Mythology. It's getting DLC set in Japan, Japanese mythology. Elder Scrolls Online shows us return of the worm cult, so the King of Worms, Manny Marco, all that shit. Fallout 76 is adding fishing. Still can't fix how shitty that game is, though. Indiana Jones and the Great Circles, adding a new adventure called the Order of Giants. Sea of Thieves is bringing Smuggler's Tide, and that's it. I thought we'd be able to get to the Nintendo stuff today, but apparently not. We've been going a while. This cast was going almost an hour and a half. Sir, anything you want to any thoughts you have about the announcements, or do you just want to save the rest of this shit for next week?
I think we can save the rest of it for next week. But I'll just say this: there were a couple things in the state of play that were interesting. I thought the big things, the Marvel game. I don't think it was nearly as bad as people made it out to be compared to their other state of plays. So I didn't watch it. I just caught the news afterwards because I just can't be bothered to watch this stuff anymore. Uh, but yeah, there was a few things that were coming out that just was like, I found interesting. The game about the robot, the game about the astronaut, and the robot girl, I thought looked kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm about to say something that's
well,
gonna. No, go ahead, sir.
obviously, the Marvel game looked interesting, and I thought there was a lot of stuff. If you go to PS5, you weren't. It's not like you weren't getting anything that looked like it was, you know,
That's fair.
worth playing. It looks like stuff is coming out for the console. If the PS5 is your only console, if it's
That's.
not, you have multiple platforms, and maybe you felt a little disappointed. But
I mean, that's fair. The only problem, in my opinion, the only problem with the PlayStation thing and the Xbox thing is that all these games are also coming to PC. So if you don't own these consoles, you're going to be all right if you have a PC. Like there's no, and the exclusives aren't strong enough, in my opinion. Um, in my humble opinion, I could be wrong. Next, for me, I'll pit them against each other because they both had their shit around the same time. I think that Microsoft's Microsoft stuff had more interesting things to me. The In Exile, Clockwork Revolution, and Outer Worlds 2 and High on Life seemed more interesting to me than what Sony is doing. Also, I mean, between that and the PC Game Show, I was more interested in that shit than anything I got out of you know, Microsoft. But to each his own. I mean, out of Sony. Anything you want to pimp out? I know you've been working on music.
um, Project Open Mic, got some music up. Uh, Haven't put anything new up, but um, Maiden of the Moon. That's the latest song that's up. Check it out when you get a chance.
All right. All right, that's fair. This was Red Fox. We just had a lot of topics to cover because a lot of news came out the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So we will um, we'll cover the rest of it next week, along with whatever other news comes out. Remember, we have this cast every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to typically 8:30. We might go a little bit longer next week just because of the extra news that might come out. But I will give my thoughts about the Switch 2 once I get my hands on one. So that being
I
said,
should be
that's the end.
getting my hands on one
What?
soon, so
Yeah. You
I'll,
can give your thoughts, and then I'll give mine once I get my hands on one. Although I strongly suspect I will not be wowed or surprised by it. I just have a
I won't.
what?
No, I'm not. I just like the idea of having a better performing Switch.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't expect to be wowed this is essentially more of an evolution than a revolution, as I saw one person put it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't like. I don't even think it was an evolution. I don't think the Switch was an evolution. The Switch functionally was basically just the fucking Wii U without the actual console attachment. They put everything in the gamepad.
yeah, I
And I
think
guess that's cool, but I was like,
yeah, to a certain degree, Switch Two feels like it should have been the Switch One.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
because Nintendo just being cheap. We don't want to put the money. It's like we don't want to put the money. We want to get the lower quality. I'm like, look, if $600 would have gotten us a better performing Switch, I would have paid $600 for a better performing Switch versus what we got. First party games crashing. But, you know.
Well, 3.5 million units sold. Didn't exactly all the bitching and moaning about this, that, and the third. Didn't exactly deter people from buying it, I
Well, I
guess.
mean, because your initial are going to be the people who are invested in the ecosystem. I want to see what the sales are going to look like next year. Like once they get
Yeah,
their big games out, I want to see what it's going to look like. If they can't get their big games out, then you know, like I'm not going out of my way to get the Switch when there's not a there's no Mario game for this system.
yeah.
But that's my opinion. Anyway, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, play your games. We didn't do our normal thing where we have our unpopular opinion and free topic, but we covered a lot of topics in this cast. And
Yeah.
we'll get back to our normal rhythm next week. That's in the cast. Rate, comment, share, play your games. Peace and good night.
Good night, everybody. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody. It's me, Dr. Nick. Hey, everybody.